Hello Year 2 and welcome to your first maths lesson for this week. We're going to start with our arithmetic. So you can either do challenge 1 or challenge 2 or both if you feel like it, but make sure that you are challenging yourself. Pause the video while you answer the questions and remember that when you get onto the extension, it's not just one answer. You need to be doing at least 4 different answers, finding 4 different ways to make either 13 or 76p. So pause the video while you do that, and then when you've done, come back and we'll go through the answers together. Let's start with challenge 1. 3 plus 4. So you can always use your fingers to help you. So put 3 up to start with and then add your extra 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have got 7 altogether. 8, add 2. So again, start with your 8 fingers and add 2 more. 1, 2. I have 10. This time it's a takeaway, so I don't want to get caught out. So I need to start with 7. And this time I'm going to take away 5. And I know I've got 5 fingers on this hand, so I'm just going to take that hand away. And I have got 1, 2 left. And now I'm going to go on to the extension. So something and something else equals 13. So I'm going to start with 13 and 0 because I know that that's equals 13. So 13 and 0 equals 13. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one smaller, so that's 12, and this one bigger. So I'm going to say 12 plus 1 equals 13. And I can keep going with that pattern. So I'm going to make this one smaller, and I'm going to make this one bigger. So 11 add 12, 2 equals 13. And I could keep going, but I've run out of space on my page. So I could have 10 add 3. I could have 9 and 4, 8 and 5, 7 and 6, and then it goes the other way around. 6 add 7, what am I up to? 5, 6 add 7, 5 add 8. I've lost count of where I'm at. 4 add 9, 3 add 10, 2 add 11, 12 add 1, or 0 add 13. All of those. So there are 14 different answers you could have had in that bit there. Let's try this side. Let's get rid of that so I've got my tens and units. Now I don't actually need that for the first one because I know how to start with a number and I know how to count on in tens because we've done that lots at school. So I'm going to ignore the pence sign because it doesn't matter that it's in pence, but I'm going to remember to put the pence sign in my answer. So I'm just going to look at the numbers. So the numbers are 19 add 10. And I know from remembering what my 100 square looked like that the number under 19, if I add 10, is going to be 29. So I could use my fingers to help me. I could use my tens and ones, but I don't need to because I know that if I count on in tens, 19, 29, 39, 49, I can do it like that. So just adding on one lot of 10 will get me 29. And I'm going to put my P sign back on the end right there. I'm going to do the same for the next one because actually what I can do is I can change the numbers round because do you remember addition is commutative. It doesn't matter which number we do first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as 23 add 20. So I'm going to count on in tens from 23 and I need 2 lots of 10, 10, 20. So 23, 33, 43. So my answer is going to be 43. And because I've been using the numbers, I need to remember to put my pence sign back on. 48p, take away 24p. Now I am going to use my tens and ones for that. So 48, take away 24. So I'm going to start with my ones. 8, take away 4, which I can do. So 8, take away 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 will leave me with 4. And 4, take away 2, will leave me with 2. So the answer is 24. And again, I'm going to put my pence sign on the end. Now the extension for this side works exactly the same as the extension we did on this side. So you could start with your 0. So you could start with your 76 pence plus 0. And then you could change the numbers. So you could go 75 pence plus 1 pence. So you take 1 off of this side and add 1 to this side. And again, I could take 1 off of this side and add it to this side. If I was feeling very brave, I could take 10 off of this side. Whoops, 10 off of this side and add 10 to this side. There are lots of different ways. There are actually 77 different answers you could have had for this one, and I cannot go through them all with you, but if you put them onto Tapestry, I'll make sure I check it for you. So let's have a look at what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be carrying on learning about money, but we're going to be using different coins to make an amount, and we're going to be using a whole part model to help us. Before we start, we're just going to do some comparing of values. So what I want you to do is I want you to work out how much money you have got on this side. And I'm sure Mrs Gabella has told you to always start with the biggest coin. So we've got £1 and then 10, 11, 12p. £1 and 12p on this side. And on this side, we've got £1 and we have got 10p. So because we've got £1 on this side and £1 on this side, that's actually the same. So we can't compare which one's bigger or smaller using just the pounds. So we're going to have to look at the pence. So we've got 12 pence on this side and 10 pence on this side. So which is our bigger value? That's right, it's our 12. So we're going to give that one 2 dots because it's our bigger value. And that one only gets 1 dot because it's our smaller value. And then we're going to join our lines. So the crocodile is going to eat more money. Let's have a look at the next one. You could stop the video very quickly and just see if you can work out how much money you've got on this side and how much money you've got on this side. And remember, it's always easier to start with the bigger number and add on the smaller number. So when you've done that, you can come back. So on this side, we've got 10 and 5. So we have got £15. And on this one, we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds. It's a very odd looking pound sign. So we have 15 is bigger and 8 is smaller. So 8 only gets the 1 dot and then we can join our lines. Let's do the same for the next one. So just pause the video very quickly. Count up how much you've got on this side. Count up how much you've got on this side. Remember, it's always easier to start with the bigger value first and add on till you get to the smaller values. And then when you've done that, come back. So on this side, we've got 50 and 20, so 50, 60, 70, and 5. So we've got 75 pence on this side. And on this side, we've got 50, 60, 70, 80 pence. So we've got, this one is our bigger number, it needs its 2 dots, and this one is our smaller dot number, it needs 1 dot, and then we're going to join those up. Well done. Okay, what we're going to do now is not compare whether they're bigger or smaller, it's work out what we need to do to make them the same. So we've got an equal sign now. So let's start with what we've got on this side. So we've got £1, 10, 11, 12p. So we have got £1 and 12p. On this side, we've got £1 and 10p. So we've got the pound, that's the same. And we've got the 10p, that's the same. So what do we need to add? We need to add 2p. So we can either do what they've done here and add a 1 and a 1, or if we were being super cheeky, we could have added a 2 to make our lives a bit easier. But we're going to look at that on the next page. So like I said, that's exactly the same. We've got the £1, 12p, or the £1 and 10p. So we could do exactly the same to make them equal. We have the 1 and the 1. Or we could just added 2. And then we have got £1 and 10, 11, 12p on that side. And £1 and 10, 12p on that side. So they are the same. So there are different ways that we can make the same amount, as long as we've got the right answer at the end. So having a look at this one, pause the video, count how much you've got on this side, count how much you've got on this side, and think about what you need to add. And can you find more than one way to do it? So on this side, we've got just notes, so we can just count in pounds. We've got 10, 15 pounds. And on this side, we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds. So we have got to keep going until we have got to 15. And we haven't got any notes, so we can't add another £5 note. So we've got to work out what we could do. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds. I can also turn around and say, right, I've got 8. I'm going to count in twos. 10, 12, 14. Now, if I count another 2, I'm going to get 16, and that's bigger than my 15 I want. So I'm just going to add the 1 in here. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, Mrs Gabella, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So now my sides are equal. Let's have a look at this one here. So again, pause the video, work out what you've got on both sides and what we need to add to this side, and then we'll come back and do it together. All right, so on this side, we've got £5 and we've got 50, 60, 70, 5p. And on this side, we've got 50, 60, 70, 80p. Wow, this is a super tricky one. So, first thing we need to do is we need, do you know what? I'm going to be super cheeky, and I don't know if you did this because this is very hard. But what I might do, I think, is I might add the £5 to that side. And if I add 5p to this side, that's cheating a bit. Then I've got £5, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80 on that side. And I have got, oh, I didn't, 2, 4, £5 and 50, 60, 70, 80 on that side. So that was the way I would do it to make them equal, because I think the other way is very complicated, but I will do it because that's what the question says, just in case you need to do it. And if you did, well done you for doing that challenge. So I'm going to I've got to get to 75p and I've already got 80. So I'm going to go to £1.75. So 80, that's going to give me £1. And then £1.50, 60, 70, 5. So I've now got, if you add my 50 and my 50, I've got £1, £1.20, £1.40, £1.50, 60, 75. I've got £1.75 and I need to get to £5.75. So if I add another £2, I've got £1, so I've now got £3. And if I add another 2, I've got £5. There are other ways I could have done that. I could have changed those into £1 coins. I could have done those as 10p pieces. But as long as I've got so they're equal at the end, then that's the easiest way to do it. That uses the fewest coins. Oh, right, we're ready for this one. I think after the last one, my brain's hurting a bit too much. I need to go have a lie down. Right, pause the video, work out what you've got on this side, work out what you've got on this side, and what you need to do to make them equal. And it might be that, like me, you might cheat a little bit and add to both sides. But we'll see. Okay, let's work out what we've got. On this side, we've got £2, 50, 60, 75. So we have £2 and 75p. This side, we've got 50 and 50, that's £1, and 10, 20, 30p. So we've got £1 and 30p. Oh, I think this one is a bit easier than last time. So what we're going to do is we're going to make, so we don't have to worry because both the pound is smaller and the pence is smaller. So I'm going to do the pounds first. We've got £1 and we want £2. So I'm just going to put an extra pound in. And now we're on 30p and we want 75p. So what I could do, the easiest way I can think of doing it is counting in tens. So we've got 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And if I do another 10, it's going to take me to 80, and that's too much. So I'm just going to do the 75. That's not using the most amount, sorry, that's not using the fewest amount of coins, because I could change that for a 20p and I could change that for a 20p. But I did it in a way that I can count. So it doesn't matter if it's the most efficient way, it's the way that you find the easiest to do. If you can count on in 20s, amazing, but my brain isn't quite that good. Okay, next one. We have, so again, pause the video, work out what you've got on this side and work out what you need to add on this side. This one looks like it might be slightly easier. So on this side, I've got 10, 15 pounds. And on this side, I've got 5, 10, 12 pounds. So if I was trying to do this in the easiest way, then I would just go 12, 13, 14, 15 and add 1. But I'm going to practice being a bit more challenging to myself. And if I've got 12, I'm going to add a 2, so that's 14. And if I added another 2, that would be 16, so it's too much. So I'm then going to add a pound. So now I've got my 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is a whole part model, and you've seen these before many, many times. In the top bit, you have your whole. That's what your total is. And in the bits below, you have your parts. So what you need to make your whole. Now, we're only allowed to put 1 coin in each part, and we've got to make 20p. So what coin would I need to put in here, and what coin would I need to put in here, so that when I add them together, I get 20p. So pause the video, and again, see if you can work out what needs to go in each of those parts. You're only allowed to use 1 coin in each part. So what we need to do is we need to do a 10p here and a 10p here, because 10 add 10 equals 20. So 10p add 10p equals 20p. When you're working out the answers, you can ignore the fact that there is a pence sign there, because actually numbers work exactly the same, whether they're money or not money. So as long as when you're writing your answer, you remember to put the p in, that's all that matters. Let's do the next one. So again, 1 coin in each of the parts to make 10p altogether. So pause the video, have a go, and then come back. So 10 is 5 add 5. 5 add 5. Okay, now just to really hurt my head. This time we've got a whole, which is 50p, and we have got 3 parts to make our 50p. Now, I'm not going to send you to do this one on your own. I'm going to show you this one. So what I'm going to do at the side here is I'm just going to make 50p using 10p pieces. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now, I've used 5 coins here, but I don't have 5 circles. I only have 3. So what I can do, what I know I can do, is I can take this 10 and this 10, put them together, and that would give me a 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that 20 into my circle in a minute. I can do exactly the same here. I've got 10 and 10, so I can change those and make them a 20. And then I've got a 10 here, which gives me my 3 parts. So I'm going to use that 10 there, that 20 there, that 20 there, and put that 10 in there. Now, the reason I did that with you is because I wanted to show you how you can work it out using 10s and 1s, because it's quite difficult for some people to think, oh yes, I need a 20 and I need a 20. But actually, if I say, oh, I need all of these, but I've got too many, what can I do? So if we go back to what we did earlier, where we made our 20 using 2 10s, then we can do exactly the same. We can use a 20 instead of our 2 10s. So this one, I would like you to try on your own. So it's a 5p. So either get your 5 ones and then see what you can swap for a different coin. Make sure it's got the same value. Or if you can do it straight into the whole part model, go right ahead. So I'm going to do it using my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course I've got too many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one and that one together, which will give me a 2p. And I'm going to put that one and that one together, which gives me a 2p. And now I've got 3 parts. So I can move that 2p to my 1 part, that 2p to my 1 part, and that 1p into my last part. Remember that because the next one is exactly the same, but it's pounds. So pause the video, see if you can work out what needs to go into your 3 different circles to make £5. And if you copied what we did on the last slide, and you've got your 2p and your 2p and your 1p to make 5p, then what we can do is exactly the same. We can use our £2 and our £2 and our £1 to make £5. But you could have got your 5 £1 and then put them together to make £2, 2 of them together to make £2 to help you. Right, the next one, we've got 3 squares. No, we haven't. We've got 3 circles. Not good in a maths lesson to get your shapes wrong. To make £20. So again, you can pause. How could we make £20? So I was thinking about counting in 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20. But unfortunately, that gives me 4 circles, and I've only got 3. So if I put 2 of those £5 together and I change it for a £10, now I've got 1, 2, 3 parts. So I'll move that £5 into that part, that £5 into that part, and that £10 into that part. It doesn't matter which bit goes in which part, but it's easier for you if you put the biggest one in the first part. But it wouldn't be wrong if you had those ones the other way around. You've still got 10, 15, 20 pounds in your whole part model. It's just about being able to add is much easier if you add from the biggest number going to the smallest number. Right, so today there are 3 challenges for you, and you can choose whether you're going to do all of the challenges or just one of the challenges. But please remember, it's called a challenge because it's supposed to challenge you. So if you do something and it's super easy, then you haven't really learned anything. You haven't really challenged yourself. So please, please, please make sure that you choose something that's just a little bit tricky for you to do. So for these ones here, you're going to, for challenge 1, you're going to use a whole part model and you're going to show a way to make 10p. So I'm going to draw the top of my whole part model, and that's going to have my 10p in it. And then for this one, I'm going to use just 2 parts, and I'm going to make a 5p there and a 5p there. Which really, unless I use a 5-part whole model, that's really the only way to do it. Please remember that you can only use coins we actually have in British currency. So you can't just invent a 7p and a 3p coin because you want to make 10p. You have to use coins that actually exist. So there's 5 parts to this challenge. So can you make 10p? And I've done that all for you already. 20p, 30p, 40p, and 50p. For this 50p and for the 20p, you can't just stick in one coin. You can't put up a 20p coin and a 50p coin. You have to see if you can find another way to make that amount. Right. Challenge 2. This time you're doing it in pounds. So you're doing exactly the same. Draw your whole part model. Put your pounds in the top. And then see if you can do different ways to do it. So I'm just going to do a 5 and a 5. That's quite an easy way. But now I've got to find another way of doing it because I've got to find 2 different ways to make £10. So I'm going to squeeze my other whole part model in here. I haven't really got enough space anywhere else. And this time, I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to stick my £5 in here, and then I'm going to do a £2. That will give me 7, and another £2, so that's 8. No, it's not, it's 9, Mrs Gabella. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I need one more to get to 10. So I've got 2 different ways to make £10. I've used £5 and £5, or I've used £5, £6, £2, £2 and £1. Both of those make £10. So can you, I've done number 1 for you, or number 6. So can you find 2 ways to make £20, 2 ways to make £30, £40 and £100? Right. The next challenge, challenge 3, is to make £50 as many different ways as you can. So at least 5 different ways. And you can use a mixture of notes and coins. One of the ways that's kind of good to do, so if I'm going to do 50, 20, 40, and I'm just going to use it 10, 50, like that. And I know I'm not using that circle, but I'll show you why in a moment. And what I can do is I can say, right, at the moment, I've got a 20 and a 20 and a 10. That's the way I can make it using the smallest amount of notes if I don't use a £50 note. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 10 and I'm going to change it for 2 5s. So that's still 10. And then I can move one of those into that box. Another thing I could do is I could take my 20 here and I could say, right, instead of having 20, I'm going to have 10. Whoops, I'm not going to move the whole part model. I'm going to move the note. And I'm going to get rid of that one. So now I've still got 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. And I would have to then draw another, let's see if I can squeeze it through the middle here. Another circle. And move my £10 note into there. And you can keep going like that. So you can take your £10 note now and split it into 2 £5 notes. You could take your £5 note and you could split it into 5 £1 notes. So if you start with 1, think about what are the coins, what are the notes you can use to make the same value. And then our reasoning challenge for today is Joe has this amount. So he has these 3 coins. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it is because you need to work this one out. And Amy wants to make the same amount. So which coins could she use? Now, it's given you the option of using 4 coins here, and you could do that. That would be the simplest way of doing it. And if you think about what I just said to you about taking a coin and changing it for 2 coins of the same value, you could do that. There are other ways. So there's not just that one way. There are 2 ways if she just uses 4 coins, but she could use more than 4 coins. So see if you can challenge yourself to find both ways if she just used 4 coins. And then if you feel like you want an extra super challenge, see if you can find some other ways. You're going to need to rewind the video back to the part that you want to do. But please, please, please make sure that you have challenged yourself. And I will see you for our next maths lesson.